So some broad, anybody ever heard of this broad named Sophie Monk? Apparently she's some reality TV star. Good looking broad for 40, I'll give her that, although the pictures I was seeing might have been 10 years old for all I know. But this broad, Sophie Monk, I never heard of her. Maybe you have. Sophiemonk, Sophie Monk, go check her out. Well, she is flabbergasted that she's not happy. She's flabbergasted and disappointed and depressed that her life did not turn out the way she wanted it to. I thought I'd have 4 children and be married by now. Yeah, I bet you did, honey. I bet you did. Sophie Monk says her dream of a normal life isn't going to happen after 2 decades in the spotlight as she prepares for her 40th birthday, which is already come and gone at this point. So she spent more than 2 decades in show business. Again, I've never heard of her, so, how successful is she really, right? But Sophie Monk has often prioritized her career over a stable and happy personal life. Okay, if this broad had a career like Robin Williams or something like that, Denzel Washington, then I would say, maybe it was worth the sacrifice. But I never heard of this broad. It turns out all she's done is a bunch of fucking reality TV shows. So she can't even act. She's just good looking. And now she's 40. But Sophie Monk has often prioritized her career, as she approaches her 40th birthday, the former Bachelorette. That's how she got her start back in 1999. She was on The Bachelorette. Yeah, we saw how well that worked out. She's single, never married, no kids. Admits her life hasn't turned out anything like she expected. Typical female solipsism, right? I think it's perfectly reasonable to focus on my career and being a minor celebrity like a D-list comedian like Kathy Griffin, but not even that successful, and expect to still find a man and have 3 kids. No. It turns out when you're a D or E-list celebrity, you still have to work a lot, oftentimes more than A-list and B-listers. Yeah, imagine that. Because you've got to fucking put your nose to the grindstone because you want to be that A-lister. Sweetheart, I think if you were going to be an A-list, B-list celebrity, you would be one by now after 20 years. You really don't have very much talent. You're just a good-looking broad, and you're not even that good-looking anymore. Oh, well, yeah, she admits her life hasn't turned out anything like she expected because you had unrealistic expectations, honey, because of feminism. I thought I'd have 4 children and be married. 4 children. I work full-time, 60, 80 hours a week. I have no time. I'm constantly traveling, but I thought I would have 4 kids by now. Baffles me. I don't get it. So I thought I'd have children and be married. Why would you think that? Who gave you this idea that you can spend 20 years focusing entirely on your career and that without looking for or aggressively focusing on, or at least in a minor way focusing on finding a partner, that you're going to find somebody that wants to have kids with you? Men are very much cost-benefit oriented when we look at relationships. And if I were to get with you in a banging situation, I would be weighing the pros and cons. Okay, this broad works a ton. She travels a ton. Is she going to be there for me, let alone any kids? Is she going to be able to have any kids? Is dating her a waste of time? Is there going to be any serious relationship here? Or is it just a complete waste of time? Is she nothing more than a short-term booty call? Oh, well, once I've weighed all the pros and cons, she's a short-term booty call. And hey, she's hot, and she hasn't had any fucking kids, so the plumbing is still in pretty good shape. So, yeah, okay. I'll bang her for a while, but that's it. I don't know why she thinks any guy would take her seriously as far as being marriage material. She's not. Parents today don't seem to understand how reality works, and they don't teach their kids how it works either. Because, I'm a feminist. I bet her mommy was a feminist and she had no daddy, and if she did have a daddy, he was a pussy, obviously. Yeah. No, nobody's teaching these people how reality works. God. Because, of course, they think there is no such thing as objective reality, right? Female solipsism. Oh, boy. Reflecting on her career, Sophie said, I thought I'd be in this industry for a little bit and then get out and have a normal life where I'd pick up the kids from school. You're in an industry that requires tons of traveling. I mean, If any of you have ever known or talked to a celebrity, especially minor celebrities, they actually oftentimes end up working more than high up there A, B-list celebrities. So she's traveling around constantly filming different projects. You have no time to meet anybody. I mean, you hook up with guys for, pump and dumps, but any of these guys are going to look at you, they're going to evaluate you and say, no, she's good for a pump and dump. That's it. But I've realized that's not going to happen. It took you 20 years. Took you 20 years. This is the problem with good-looking broads. When they're very young, they rely on their looks. They've gotten everything from their looks. They're not too bright. They haven't had to work to become too bright because they don't have to work too hard to stand on their own 2 feet. They've always been used to men taking care of them. And this broad's a solid 9 plus. Maybe she was a 10 when she was 20. I don't know. But she's definitely a good-looking broad, at least from the pictures I've seen. So, yeah, good-looking broads, they don't really have to fall back on any inner reserves they might have. And they don't have to really marshal and develop their intelligence or develop any real marketable skills outside apparently being just an airhead that's good-looking and has a nice rack. Well, so, yeah, you're lacking in critical thinking skills. And now you're wondering why. It's not going to happen. It took her 20 years to figure out. Yeah, she's dimmer than most. Sophie first rose to fame in 1999 as a contestant on the reality show Pop Stars. She later performed in the pop band Bardot for 3 years. I've never heard of this. What is this? So let me get this straight. Instead of finding yourself, and she's a great-looking broad, and when she was younger, super hot. So, I mean, I'm assuming. I'm looking at her picture now, and then I'm doing kind of a mental, backwards ticking in time, and I would guess that she looked even better. So, yeah, you could have found yourself a good guy, makes good money, you could have had kids, you could have been happy, you could have developed virtues. And this is another reason why so many good-looking broads these days have no virtue, because they don't have to. They're good-looking. And I've been with quite a few good-looking broads. They're generally speaking lacking in character development and virtue. So, yeah. Yeah, she realized it's not going to happen after 20 years. And performed in some pop band I never heard of for 3 years. Oh, I bet you rode a lot of cocks during that period. Yes, I prioritized riding lots and lots of big cocks. And now I'm 40 years old, and I can't even get the big cocks anymore. And I also have no kids and no family. Growing up famous, Sophie first rose to fame. Okay, so the line is there twice? That's annoying. Who edits this shit? Fuck, that's annoying. It's the same line twice. Okay. Since then, she has appeared in various films. I've never heard of her. A very minorless celebrity. I mean, at least I've heard of Kathy Griffin. And I consider her to be D-list nobody. And TV shows as an actress, hosted Love Island, Australia, and served as a breakfast radio presenter. What? She's pretty fucking minor as a celebrity. This is the best you've done in 20 years? The only reason she's been an actress in anything, probably straight to video, right? Straight to Netflix, if any of the crap she was in even made it on Netflix. This is the best you could do. So you gave up a family to be a nobody? I've never heard of you. Yeah, it's not like you're Denzel Washington or that nut job Whoopi Goldberg who did some moderately funny movies back in the 80s. In 2017, she even attempted to find love on The Bachelorette. Oh, I bet that worked out well. 38-year-old broad on The Bachelorette. Yeah! I don't think so. You're already way post-wall, honey. I mean, you're good-looking broad, don't get me wrong. But 38? You're not pulling it off. Nobody's interested in a 38-year-old over-the-hill broad. Sophie's personal life has been well documented over the years. That's how she makes a living. I'm surprised she's not one of these Instagram thoughts. And her former flames include millionaire Stu Laundrie. I'd love to have been a fly on that fucking wall to see how that failed. But I bet she blames him. And good Charlotte rocker Benji Madden. Never heard of this person. Okay. And she's pictured in the article with her niece. Because, of course, she has no kids. I need proxy babies! My biological clock is ticking out of control, but I realize I'll probably never have kids, so at least I can have proxy babies through my sister. Yeah, isn't that great? She'd have probably blown her own fucking head off if she didn't have that sister with kids. She's currently in a relationship with businessman Joshua Gross. Gross. G-R-O-S-S. Gross! I hope he's anything but. But I mean, then again, a 40-year-old broad, however good looking she is, she should be willing to settle for the guy that pumps gas or the janitor at the local elementary school. Honestly, a woman at this age, she's had how many relationships? It seems like they're emitting quite a few. She's been in a lot of relationships. She's had a lot of failed relationships, and everybody knows it. But she's expecting to find herself a good man. I'm going to tell you what. I think you're just a pump and dump for this Joshua Gross. You're just a long-term pump and dump, okay? Yeah, who first met last year on an international flight. Last year is in late last year. They've been in a relationship probably 5 or 6 months. Ooh, I'm sure that's going to last. You like other relationships did. Yeah. Oh, my God. She's currently appearing as a panelist on Talking About Your Generation. There's no A, by the way. What did a black person write this? Talking About Your Generation. Never heard of that show. Another thing she's been in I've never heard of. Excuse me, allergies. So not only is she not even a has-been, she's a never was. This seems like a really bad trade-off to me. You give up having kids, having a relationship, a loving husband, for what? Where's the satisfaction you're going to get? I mean, the shows that she's been on are so crappy, they're not even going to get reruns. By the way, don't shows have to have been on a certain number of seasons to get reruns? Something like 5 seasons or something? Right? I mean, even that crappy show, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, is in reruns somewhere because it ran for 5 years. The same with that horrible show, Angel, about the vampire that, turned good, but he couldn't fuck anybody because if he had sex, he'd turn evil. Stupid show. But anyway, wow, so she don't get it. She's 40-year-old, good-looking broad. Oh, get this! She froze her eggs. She's already taking steps to freeze her eggs in case she wants to have children one day. One day? Lady, you got fucking cobwebs up in that poon, right? What are you talking about one day? Your womb is dusty. It's dried out. What one day? What are you talking about one day? One day? What one day? Tomorrow? Oh my God, she froze her eggs. When? When did you freeze them? I hope it was a long fucking time ago, honey, because after your 20s, the quality of your eggs diminishes significantly. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if she decided at 40, I'm going to freeze my eggs now? Really? At 40? Gonna pop out that Quasimodo, right? Except he doesn't have a Notre Dame to crawl around the fucking rafters anymore because some Muslim burnt it down. Allegedly. I'm gonna have kids one day. Bitch, do you know you're 40? Maybe at 50. Yeah. Because in her world, 40-year-old broads can still have kids and happy families and successful relationships and deny reality. There's no such thing as reality. Everything's my reality, my truth. Yeah. It's great. I love it. I love it. All her D-list fucking acting jobs. E-list, really. And she still can't find happiness. I'm chasing the dragon still, and that dragon is happiness. But as a woman, I can't seem to find it, and I don't know why. I know why. That's crazy. I don't get you women out there. You wait until you're 40, and you think that some kind of Prince fucking Charming is still going to come along because you see yourself the same way you were when you were 20. Meanwhile, a guy looks at you, he's like, I'm a white guy too, so I can spot your age. You know how it's more difficult for people of different races to judge the ages of other races. That's why white people so often think that Asian people look younger. It's really not because they do. It's just because they're a different race and there's slightly different markers that signify certain ages in regards to them being Asian than if you were white. So there's just some differences in that. And if you were Asian, you'd automatically spot it, right? I get that a lot from Asian people. They look at me and they think I'm younger than I am. But, most white people, well, okay, I actually probably do look a little younger. I don't know. That's crazy, though. I'm 40, but I feel like I'm 20. No, you're still 40, honey, and most men can tell. And when they hear your history, failed relationship after failed relationship, when men ask you about your past, they're not just making civil conversation. A smart guy is going to do a little digging. And when he hears all these fucking failed relationships and that you've never been in a successful long-term relationship and you're 40 years old, they'll be like me as an employer. And I'm interviewing you for a job. And you tell me at the age of 40, I've had 28 jobs since I was 20. Really? And you've never had a job that lasted more than 6 months. Yeah, I might not hire you. I might come to the right conclusion that you are not a stable individual, that you are not somebody that I will invest my time or resources in. Hello? Hello? Men make these same kind of assessments when they're deciding whether or not a woman is a good investment in a long-term relationship, because life is only so long and you only get one of them. Do I want to invest possible years in you when you're really a bad investment, when you're not going to pay off? No, I do not.